Hey, crypto family. Hope you're doing good on the small relief rally that we're having. I want to go over a couple articles. The first being which from Forbes, talking about Bitcoin chaos continues as Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg reveals Libra woes. So, as you know, Libra, when it first came out, it's seen as a competitor to Bitcoin. Some people argue that it helped Bitcoin, but again, I just think the help came from the basically mainstream view of cryptocurrencies because Libra was tied to Facebook, not necessarily because it was a cryptocurrency helping Bitcoin out. Now, with that said, Libra is actually facing a lot of woes in the sense that it talks about here Facebook's chief executive Mark Zuckerberg has revealed his Libra cryptocurrency, which is largely credited with sparking Bitcoin's bull run earlier this year, may not launch in 2020 as previously expected. So basically, what happens is they ran into opposition around the world as countries like India, France, and the US warn it will undermine their national currencies. And that's also when President Donald Trump launched an attack on Libra, Bitcoin, and crypto earlier this year. So you may have remembered that. There's a lot of controversy with that. And basically, a lot of countries are trying to block Libra because, again, they do see that as rivaling their national currency, which in a sense, some people argue Bitcoin is trying to do the same thing, but really Bitcoin is different in that it's not a stable currency. So again, Bitcoin is just a one-to-one, and it's seen a lot as digital gold, but also to protect against inflation. Whereas this Facebook coin, it's a stable coin and it's tied to Facebook. So again, you don't know what kind of privacy concerns there are, security concerns. So there's all kinds of questions with that. So this necessarily isn't something that I'm too concerned about if Libra does good or not. The only thing is, again, if it bleeds over to Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. So this is something we're just going to have to pay attention to in the future. Again, if they do have these rules that do spill over to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, again, we'll have to see when that happens, if that does happen. But again, right now, Mark Zuckerberg is, again, really trying to push Libra. So it'd be interesting to see if this actually succeeds or not. Now, the next article I want to cover talks about Bitcoin and possibly falling to 4,000. Now, before I go over this article, I want to mention I do not think Bitcoin is going to go to 4,000. A lot of people are thinking that right now. And again, in this article, it quotes a Twitter personality, Geraldo XRP. If you look at him, he has 23,000 followers. So, he does have a following base, but you always can't take everything someone says at face value just because they have a high Twitter count. He says here, quote, BTC, long-term BTC chart, assuming we're not reversing from a relief rally, smart bulls are looking for signs of continuation as low as 4.8K. And then it says, expect pullbacks to levels that will be sold off hard. Be particularly cautious when price attacking 9.5K on first attempt. So he thinks we're going to rise a little bit, possibly, but fall to 7,300 and then continue the fall to 4,000. Now, when you start having a lot of articles talking about a low target or even a high target, usually the reverse happens. This is very popular with, you also have a couple news articles that'll talk about that. So usually when those news articles start talking about that, then the opposite does happen. So I don't think we're going to go as low as 4,000 again. I think we're possibly may consolidate here 8,000, possibly dip a little, but still I think we are going to rally, after possibly a week or two. We'll have to see what happens with this. But again, I mentioned in my previous video, it's never bad to invest half now and either half on a pullback or just, average in, because that's how you do make money, is take advantage of these pullbacks, take advantage of these cheaper prices. Because when Bitcoin was at 13,000, people were wishing it was at 8,000. When it was at, 4,000, people wished it was at 2,000. You always want it to be lower. But again, just use these advantages whenever you can. Not investment advice, just my opinion. But I just wanted something to think about whenever you do see a lot of articles talking about low targets. Now, last article is by Cointelegraph, and it says, South Korean court exchange must cover users' stolen cryptocurrency. So I think this is a very important topic because you see a lot of exchanges getting hacked, and a lot of times that is the argument for not to allow cryptocurrencies, is because these exchanges are hacked, there's a lot of manipulation, and people can lose their money. Well, in this filing here, it says a South Korean court ruled on September 25th that the Coin1 cryptocurrency exchange must reimburse $20,800 to an investor after he was hacked. The attacker used the investor's personal login and password to steal 45 million won, while a daily withdrawal limit of 20 million won was supposed to be in place. So long story short, the hacker used a VPN to get into the person's exchange, steal their cryptocurrency, and sell double what the withdrawal limit was. Now, what the investor argued is the exchange should have blocked access from the foreign IP address that were indifferent than the user's normal access point. However, the court ruled this was not necessary for safeguard that the exchange should reasonably have employed. So they didn't agree with them, but they did agree that the withdrawal limit was exceeded. Therefore, the court ruled the exchange was responsible and therefore must pay the investor to cover the additional losses over the limit. So again, I do think it's good that the investor is getting reimbursed. So that's something to carry on for future exchanges. And when there's talks about making cryptocurrency, actually legal and regulated, then that is something to keep in mind is if these safeguards are in place and exchanges are responsible, again, you're going to have more rules and stricter security. So that is good for the long term. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment if you have any questions, and please subscribe if you haven't. Until next time, thanks for watching.